Well, typically, the honor of going last at one of these functions falls under the purview of someone who is either the oldest or because the event's running late and they want you to move things along so we can get the party started. So mercifully for you, I'll keep my remarks very brief. Tonight I am truly honored and humbled to share the stage with such a distinguished panel of candidates for the Hall of Fame class of 2015. And I'd like to congratulate each of my co-inductees on their achievements as well. I'd also like to thank the Hall of Fame members and voting membership who voted in my favor for inclusion. I'll tell you a quick story. When I was very young, my parents used to tell the story of my mother waiting in the maternity ward of East General Hospital in Toronto for her fourth child, that's me, to be born. And she heard a marching band parade down Coxwell Avenue in Toronto. Now, as she gazed out the window, she thought to herself, I hope that someday I'll have a child who will be in a band just like that. 10 years later, we're sitting around the kitchen table at the family home, and she noticed a public service announcement in the local newspaper. It went something like this: young people wanted to join boys' trumpet band. So later that week, my older brother Gary drove me down to Scarborough Fire Hall number 233 on Dorset Avenue, where we lined up in front of the hoses, the racks of fire hoses. We're handed these valveless bugles, and we're encouraged to take very deep breaths, pucker our cheeks, and blow as hard as hell to make a sound. And that was the start of my life in music and music education, and certainly in drum corps. Having spent pretty much my entire life in this arena, I've encountered some truly amazing people. To even try and mention the myriad of individuals who've had an impact on my personal and professional life would be impossible. I do, however, have a particular fondness and reverence for those early days of DCI, for those were my roots. During those formative years, I had many mentors and guardians, including families like the Goodharts, Richards, Colas, and Passions, as well as individuals like Shirley Whitcomb, Cosmo Barbaro, and Jim Unrath. I was blessed to judge alongside folks whom I still count among my closest and longest-standing friends: George Oliviero, Mike Rubino, Dallas Niermeyer, Jay Kennedy, and a little later on, Gary Markham. Now, in the 43-year history of DCI, there have been 6 judge administrators. 5 of us are here tonight. And I'm going to ask them to stand when I introduce them all. Joe Cola, Jay Kennedy, Ken Turner, John Turner, and myself. Can I just ask those judge administrators to stand up? Sadly, not present is Donald Angelica, DCI Hall of Fame class of 1985. Donald's influence and locus of control during the early years of DCI went well beyond his role as judge administrator. Angelica had a unique gift to appreciate emerging talent and see the potential of young musicians, artists, and other craftsmen. There isn't a year that goes by where I don't take a moment, several actually, to have a quiet reflection with the spirit of Donald. Angelica was larger than life and a powerful force in the growth of modern drum corps, even though it's been almost 20 years since his passing. Every successful enterprise requires effective leadership. Drum Corps International is so fortunate to have Dan Atchison at the helm. Dan, thank you for your trust, encouragement, and patience with me for these past 15 years. I am deeply indebted to you, the voting membership, and everyone else associated with DCI for allowing me to enjoy something that has been such an integral part of my life. Now, before concluding, I'd like to acknowledge the 5 individuals who nominated me for this distinction and crafted such beautiful notes. I'll start with Wayne Downey, someone I've known since my first year as a DCI judge. Back then, it was said that if you could survive a critique with Jimmy Elvard or Wayne Downey, you had a shot at success in judging. True? Unfortunately, Wayne's had some travel problems and he's not able to be here tonight, but I just did want to make that out there for him. Another Wayne, whom I've known for almost as many years, is someone I judged and mentored as a judge, my fellow Canadian, Wayne Dillon. Jay Kennedy and I were caption heads under the Joe Cola judge administration, and thanks to Joe, both of us were groomed for eventual judge administrator duties. Two other supporters of this nomination are my brother David, who started out about as young as I did in the activity and led the Ventures all-girls corps to several DCI championships. And finally, I really do want to thank the person who instigated all of this, my dear friend Marie Grana-Chapinski. Marie, I'm pretty sure that you and Chops have been thinking about this for a little while. And you also know that I really don't like the spotlight, even though I'm in it a lot. But I am so grateful for your initiative and confidence in me being worthy of this honor. To all 5 of you, my friends, my heartfelt appreciation for your kind words and support. I mentioned the influence of my parents, and like them, I too am so proud of my children, both of whom I dragged along to drum corps events when they were young. My daughter Emily has been a fixture at championships for many years, helping Tony DiCarlo on the sidelines. Now, sadly, Em isn't with us tonight as she is sailing the Caribbean, working on a cruise ship. It's a tough life. I am thrilled, however, that my son Josh is here, and though he never marched in drum corps, he has performed the changing of the guard ceremonies on Parliament Hill in Canada with the Ceremonial Guard Band and is a member of the Royal Regiment of Canada Band. Josh and Em, thank you for your patience and understanding while Dad was off fulfilling his obligations and responsibilities. My association with Drum Corps International has given me many gifts. Perhaps the most special gift was the opportunity to meet and eventually marry, just this past June, the love of my life, Beth. Thank you, Beth, for bringing balance and joy back into my life. Now, I've been asked many times, why do you do this? You can see I've lost my hair over the past 15 years. You are at the epicenter of criticism when someone's unhappy with the result. It's a job where you can't please everyone, not even some of the time. The truth is, I feel like the most blessed person in the stadium every night. I get to witness a standard of music, artistry, and excitement that transcends anything one could hope for in the world of entertainment. Drum corps is in my blood. It's intoxicating, stimulating, and invigorating. And at the end of the day, I'm still involved because of my mother's dreams, intuition, and encouragement. Thank you, Mom. And thank you, everyone, for being here to celebrate with me and my fellow inductees for the DCI Hall of Fame Class of 2015.